It's time for good energy, and I'm Dr. Julie, and welcome to Bodyful Day 244. We are talking about cold extremities and the senses. This is our last day of the series, day 7, and we are talking about the vestibular sense. So we're going to talk today about how the vestibular sense, or the movement of gravity, the power of gravity, or the power of G-forces, can be good energy and or stressors. So let's go ahead and start. Take a deep breath in and release. Next deep breath in. You're going to expand in the belly, expand in the chest, expand in the sinuses, and when you do that, there'll be a slight tuck in your tailbone. Take a deep breath in. And release. And vestibular sense, so where you are in space. And I want you to think about a roller coaster ride and breathing into that. Take a deep breath in and release. So remember, the vestibular sense is where you are in relationship to gravity. And so that is based on the semicircular canals. Are you upright? Are you tilted? What's the deal? It's based on motion detected in those semicircular canals. So moving fast, where does the gravity, where do the G-forces exist? And it's also based on your neck, jaw, hips, and ankles. All those pieces of information go into the vestibular sense. Now, when we are talking about cold extremities, our goal here is to try to tap into that vestibular sense to give us a little extra good energy in and reduce the stressors that might happen. So remember, our goal is to have energy to reduce cold extremities, or energy to warm up our hands and feet, equals good energy in minus stressors. And when we think about the vestibular sense, there are some cases where we can consider, hey, the vestibular sense is going to cause a nervous system response that is going to be sympathetic, and it's going to start to pull energy into the body if you are a person whose response primarily to stress is to freeze. And so riding on a roller coaster can actually reduce the blood flow to your hands and feet. Now, this is a little different, but it is the idea that even if the G-forces are there, if your body interprets that as stress, then you're going to have cold hands and fingers, cold hands and feet, because your body says that's a stressor. We need to not move. And in not moving, you store all the warmth inside your body, in your core, rather than out to your extremities. So there is stress that can come from the vestibular sense, riding in a fast car, going up and down mountains. I will tell you that I probably had no blood in my hands and fingers when we went over in the Rocky Mountain National Park. There is the pass that goes over, that is a very narrow road. The pass that goes through the park is a little stressful, and I am not good with that kind of stress. So I was holding onto the dashboard, and when you hold onto the dashboard like that, yep, the blood does not go to those hands. The other experience I have with G-forces and the vestibular sense was when I was, I think maybe 8 or 9. My parents, my uncle had given me a gift certificate to go on a balloon ride. And it was supposed to be with him, but because of the weather conditions, we were at a ballooning competition. Because of the weather conditions, it was not, I could not go with him because he wasn't flying. Instead, I could go with his initial coach, the one who taught him. And we are in this balloon, and I am holding on for dear life. And the man says, we need to tip. We need to lean. And I'm like, no, I am not leaning in relationship to gravity. And I can probably tell you then I also had very cold hands and feet. I can't remember, but even the thought of it makes the blood kind of drain out of my hands and feet. So there are stressors that exist in the vestibular sense that can increase cold hands and feet. But how can we use the vestibular system to decrease cold hands and feet? Well, one of the easiest things we can do, so let's think about a very simple situation where cold hands and feet are pragmatically, besides just being cold, a problem. If you are going in to get a blood sugar test or some sort of draw where you would need to prick a finger and draw blood, when your hands and feet are cold, you need to get blood down there. And you can cheat the vestibular system and shake your hands to get blood to move down. And that will, and you can use kinesthetic sense. We talked about squeezing. So you can use the kinesthetic sense to squeeze that blood down to the fingers so that you actually can get a drop or two out for whatever medical test you're doing. So shaking can actually get blood down there. It's not the best way to do it, but in fact one of the easiest ways to do it, and it actually gets blood to the hands and to the feet, is what we did on day 1 of Bodyful, which is stomping around, because we talked about the fact that the bottom of the foot, that's kidney 1 right down there, is related to anxiety. Stomping in a very rhythmic fashion for a while will calm the nervous system, calm the kidney meridian, send energy back up into the body, and actually not just warm up your feet. I mean, we've always heard if you're cold, just stomp, but there are a couple of reasons for that. One of them is the gravity force, the vestibular component of causing the blood to flow down to the feet. But there's also a little bit of kinesthetic, you're using your muscles, and then there's the traditional Chinese medicine of calming that kidney meridian, which then allows blood to flow throughout the rest of the body. So stomping and shaking, great way to get blood to those extremities, but not exactly for the reasons that you would suspect. All right, you guys are gonna get a flash, cool picture of a cloud. That cloud is going past pretty fast, but that is really nicely lit. All right, anyway, my visual system likes to be distracted. So that is it for cold extremities and the senses. Join me here tomorrow. We're going to talk about computers and the senses, and we're going to try to have energy to do as much on computers as you need to, or energy to give yourself the best good energy in, or have yourself the most energy to heal while you work on a computer all day long. All right, let's finish this off. Take a deep breath in and release. Have a great day. I'll see you here tomorrow.